We're going to get started. Good morning, class. We miss you dearly. I hope you enjoy this YouTube video as we begin to discuss distance, midpoint, and slopes. So, yesterday, you guys are going to be famous one day. You're going to be on my YouTube channel. People are going to be watching you and be like, yeah, it was me. You heard my voice in there. Yeah. All right, so yesterday we gave you a couple things, and so let's review. Just pretend like that isn't even there. Just pretend like it's there, okay? Right. That's how I do this. This is how I do it. I don't even pretend like it's there. I just do my job, all right? You do your job, I'll do my job. My job is to tell you, ask you questions. Your job is to answer the questions, all right? Bless you, Dylan. That was Dylan Wallace was me. He just wanted to get on the camera. He'll do anything to get on the camera.
He sneezes way more.
All right, he's worse than Brandon. All right. Remember, Brandon's always sneaking into videos.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right.
Oh, yeah.
What? All right, let's review. So yesterday we talked about, there were two names I gave to the little lines that looked like this. And so I gave it two names, and I want to see if you remember the two names I gave it. So it looks like this, and I named it with two different names. Jenna, give me one of the names.
It was the, oh, come on, please.
Starts with C. They both start with C.
Rhymes with Parmesan.
Oh,
Cartesian plane. Good. Natalie, give me the other one. Coordinate plane. No, we can't. So let's go. Come on. All right, focus. Sorry, Tally. Tally's funny. All right, so Cartesian plane, coordinate plane. Okay. Now these lines were labeled. All right, don't talk, please. The lines that were labeled were this line that was vertical is what? Bowie. X or Y?
X.
This one here?
Yeah. No. Y.
Y.
And then X is the other.
X is this one. All right, good. Then we also labeled the coordinates. Okay. Each quadrant was what? It was one right here.
No.
It's one, two, three. All right, guys. I don't want that on my thing, and this will be on that too now. Okay. You can't act ridiculous. You got to act like you're supposed to be in class. Okay. All right. We're trying to accomplish something, and it's for them to be able to go back and watch it to make up for it. Okay. All right. We will be recording an actual lesson for my college course in here, and so I expect 100% behavior on that. Okay. This isn't for my college course, but it is a good way for me to evaluate how it goes. All right. So we have our things. What was the positives and negatives? I gave you little positive and negatives. So the ordered pair that goes in each one of these, what is it? Somebody help me out. What are the ordered pairs? John, give me one of them. Pick one and then tell me which one it is.
Number 1 is all positive.
Okay, number 1's all positive. Genesis, give me one.
Number 4 is negative. No, positive and negative.
Good. All right. Give me 3 or 2, Jenna.
3 is negative.
She's all negative. And Danielle?
Negative, positive.
Negative, positive. All right. So is everybody good with that?
Yes.
So we also did ordered pairs. We were good with that. We're good with the ordered pairs. Then we did distance formula. Let's see. Hope, give me the distance formula.
The square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2.
Did everybody do those problems for homework?
Yes.
Okay, I gave you 3 problems. I said to do 3 problems, correct?
Yes.
All right, so we'll go over those in a minute. Now, I'm going to give you a midpoint theorem, or a formula for midpoint. So that's distance. And then I'm going to give you a midpoint. And I'm going to give you a slope. Okay? All right, so the midpoint. The formula for midpoint. Okay? The formula for midpoint is this. Okay? So when you have 2 points, all right, and I pick numbers out of the air, so when you ask where I got these from, I'm picking them out of the air. Everything okay back there?
No, it's Anthony.
You guys are good friends.
Don't treat each other like friends.
It's a weird friendship.
Yeah.
Isn't friendship
That wasn't friendship. All right, so looking at this line here, We're going to look for the slope. Now, remember, if I want the distance, what do? You plug these numbers into this, right? And you plug and chug and you do algebra as you said the other day. Now we're going to do what's called the midpoint. What would the midpoint be? Would the midpoint be here? Would the midpoint be here? No, why not? Where's the midpoint? We talked about this in chapter 2. It has to be where? On the line. So, the middle of the line, which is right in this area. Now, we can draw it, measure it, and mark it like that and get close, or we can solve what it actually is. How would you solve what the actual midpoint is of that point? How would you do that? What do you think, Sarah? There you go. Get the average of something. Good. The average. You have 2 points. The average of it is going to give you the middle. Right? Does everybody follow that? So how would I write that? X1. What's average? When you do average, what do? Do you add or subtract? Add. Good. You add. Over 2. And so 1. And this is, by the way, the midpoint is an ordered pair, right? Okay? So it's going to be y1 plus y2 over 2. Is that fair? So if I was solving this, I'm going to come over here and our midpoint. So it's going to be, which one is going to be our y1 and which one's going to be our x1? Chloe, which one's going to be x1, which one's going to be y1? Does it matter? What is the only thing that matters when we talk about x1 and y1, x2, y2? Anthony?
As long as you do it to the other.
Exactly. As long as you keep them consistent. So, if this is going to be our x1 and this is going to be our y1, let's plug it in. So x1 is what? 0, right? x2 is what? Nope. x2. 4. So 0 plus 4 over 2, right? Comma, parentheses, and y. What's the y1? Negative 2 plus 3. Over what? 2. So we do our parentheses. Here we go. Ready? 0 plus 4 is? 4 divided by 2 is?
2.
So that's our first order pair, right? Then, negative 2 plus 3 is?
1.
1 over 2 is?
1.5.
There's your ordered pair. So if you look at this, I mean, I know my drawing isn't perfect because I didn't do it to scale. I didn't take time to write it to scale. But it should be like right there, which is about right. Does that make sense? Okay? So you solve it using that. Any questions on that? Are we good so far? So what if I asked you to solve for the distance of those 2 points? What would you do? What would you do if you were doing the distance of those 2 points? John, what equation would you use? The first one, all right? So I'm going to write my equation up here. This is good review, right?
Mm-hmm. Especially since it's on the other board.
All right, so what is my x1? 0. What's my x2?
4.
Parentheses squared plus negative 2 plus 3 minus 3 squared, right? So what's this going to be? 4 squared is
16.
plus 5 squared is
25.
41. Can you reduce 41? No. That's your answer. That's as far as it goes. Everybody follow that? Any questions? Yes.
Where'd you get the 25 from?
5 times, this is 5. This is 4 plus 5.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you simplify that?
Can you simplify it? What number goes into 41?
No.
None. 41's a prime number, right? So you can't do anything with it, right? So leave it as is.
Got it.
All right? Any questions? So, last one, what is our slope? So how do we find slope of a line? Okay? What is slope of the line? There are two words. And I don't know, did you guys learn this last year?
Yeah.
Rise,
To overrun.
overrun. Rise, overrun. Now listen carefully. If you look at the distance formula, if you have to solve for both in the same problem, it's very helpful if you look and watch what I'm going to tell you to do. Okay? And if you take a test for me, you will have to multiple times. Okay, so I would pay attention.
Just be sick then.
The rise and the run are already solved for. They're solved right here.
Oh.
I'm not saying that. Sorry.
Okay. All right. We'll explain in a second. They are solved when you solve these two right here. That is your rise over run. Okay? Because the equation for rise over run is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. What's this? What's this? x1 minus x2? What's this? y1 minus y2. Notice? See it? So once you solve for these numbers, all you have to do is put them rise over run. Right? So once you solve it, what's your answer? So this is negative 4, because that goes on the bottom. Why? X goes on the bottom. The run.
Yes.
And the rise is the y, which is negative 5. What's my answer? So, how would you solve it if you didn't have to solve for the distance? You plug it in. 0 minus 4,
Over
negative 2 minus 3. Negative 5, negative 4, 5 fourths. Okay? So there's no sense. Okay? There's no sense having to redo work if you've already done it. Everybody got me?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Nope.
So, rise of a run, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, and there's a letter that represents slope. Does anybody know what that letter is? Lowercase m. Good. All right. Any questions? No questions?
Nope.
Perfect. So, that's all you have to learn.
Yay.
Okay? Now what we'll do is we'll do a couple practice problems, and then I'll leave you to work on some problems on your own. Okay? All right, is that fair? All right. Let's do a practice problem, because we can. I'm pulling these numbers from the air, so don't where did you get the numbers from, Mr. Content? I found them in the air. They're very cool numbers. I found them. All right?
I feel like there was a joke in there when I was.
Nope, there isn't a joke. I'm just clarifying that because what happens is, after I write up on the board, then someone goes, where did you get those numbers from? Inevitably. So I repeat it regularly because I don't want to have to say, I got it from the air. All right, negative 5, and the other one is, let's say 10 and negative 1. All right, so here we go. First off, let's solve for the distance. So let's solve for the distance together. Square root, parentheses, x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Why do you think I ask you when you're doing the homework to write the equation?
So you know who's gonna do it?
Right? That's one. Secondly, I'm going to ask you a question. How many times will you have to write it probably in the homework? 3 or 4?
Yes.
If you do that 3 or 4 times, you think you're going to memorize it pretty quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you don't have to study later.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's purposeful. It's not just because Mr. Comstock's the bully, or because Mr. Comstock just likes to make you write extra. It's because he's trying to help you learn the equations so that you don't need a note card. So here we go. Plug in. 3 minus 10 squared plus, what's this one? Negative 5 minus a minus 1 squared, right? What's 3 minus 10, class?
Negative 7
Negative 7
squared plus
squared plus
negative 4
negative 4
squared.
squared. Does everybody follow? Are we good so far? So at that point right there, everybody listen for a second. At that point right there, can I solve for a slope?
Yes.
What's my slope?
Negative
Negative 4.
over negative 7.
Okay, so we got one of them done. Okay, if you do that in that moment, you don't have to go back and redo all the work. Is that fair? Hey, listen. How many of you guys know me pretty well by now? Do you guys know me pretty well? Do you know that I am do you guys agree that I like to work hard?
Yes.
But I will tell you this, the one most frustrating thing about working hard is not working smart.
That was deep.
Okay? So work hard, I'm for working hard. But work smarter. Work smarter. So, right here is a good stopping point to say, I'm going to solve for the slope real quick. Now I don't have to come back and do it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Everybody got me? And you see what happens on a test? Here's what happens on a test. You guys get so bogged down, then you work it out this way, then you have to turn around and work it out with slope, and guess what? You run out of time. Why? Because you didn't work smarter, you worked hard, but you didn't work smarter. So work smarter, not harder. That's my motto in life, okay? All right, now, let's finish our distance. 7 squared is what? 49.
Negative 49.
It's squared. And 16.
Which equals 65.
All right, 65. Square root of 65. Can we reduce 65?
Yes.
5 and what?
13.
You can't reduce it.
Can't?
Why?
Because it's 5 and 13.
5 and 11, right?
No, it's 5 and
No,
13.
that's 55.
5 and 13.
5 and 13, sorry. 5 and 13. Can you reduce 13?
No.
So you're done. So your answer for distance is 65. Your answer for slope is 4 with 7. So what's our midpoint now? We just have to do the midpoint. What do we do at midpoint? It's sum, right? So it's going to be, what's our equation? x1 plus x2
Over 2.
Over 2.
y1 minus plus y2 over 2. So x1 is what? 3 plus 10 over 2, comma, negative 5 minus 3, or minus 1, sorry. Minus 1 over 2. So 3 plus 10 is
13.
13 halves, comma, negative 6 over 2, right?
Negative 3.
So can I reduce these?
No.
I can.
Just one of them.
13 halves and negative 3. Okay, so we just solved for all 3 of them. And you're done. All right? Any questions?
No.
Are we good? All right. Let's turn off our video. So.
Oh, that's it? That's all they're going to